Hello YouTube, Beanie from the bedroom here. I just wanted to do a quick video on my 59 Greeny Chibson from AliExpress and what I've done to it and all the upgrades that and added expense that I put into it, which still I can afford a really great guitar without spending a ton of dough. Believe it or not, I believe all of this was, what you see right here is about 500 bucks worth. So $318 for the guitar, shipped, I think it was China Express or China Air, something like that. Took 2 months. $318 for that with shipping from J-U-G-G. I do that all the time. I say things backwards. Jug. With a 64, maybe now 67% feedback rating, but he's the only one that sent me back a text and the actual picture of the guitar. Then I spent 7 or 8 bucks for the little washer pin arrows that show you where the knob is, what number it's on. I've seen the one like Jimmy Page, his goes up, but I've seen Gary Moore's goes this way, facing that way. So I have it where if I'm on 10 it's at the arrow, and if I'm on 0 it's at the arrow, so going that way. And what I had to do was, when I had gotten this, I also had to put some marks around the volume pots. It's hard to see. I had to like notch them out, and between soy sauce and a little bit of wood stain, I darkened up the areas on the knobs, and I darkened this area up here that looks worn, and I tried to darken this area up, and to no avail. I couldn't get it to look like this area right here, although I did the same exact thing on both areas. And the soy sauce or the stain, they didn't take to that area, so I used a little bit of a marker just to like accent the scratches in it, just to make it look more realistic. Then the other thing I had to do was I took one of my pick guards off of my Harley Benton gold top, and I put it where it should be here, on here, and I drilled the holes because they didn't have the holes where the pickguard was in and removed. There and there, right about there. So I drilled those in just to make it look more original. Then I had to get I had to remove the gold labeling off the rhythm and lead pickup, Rhythm and Treble, on the poker chip there for the toggle switch. So I used some Goo Gone to remove that, and tried to scratch it up to make it look a little bit older. The other thing I did was the back. I just used natural oil on this, just to treat it a little bit better. So it's just a lemon pledge, like stained wood oil, just to protect it, keep it lasting a little bit longer. The only difference that I had done is this had some chops in it, some cuts in it. And because I always play in the classical position with it on my knee, up like this, and I have my handy footstool, I couldn't I couldn't play it without it irritating me. So I just took my, I think it was 500 to 250 grit sandpaper and sanded that. Then I took my stainless steel, I think it's 300 or 40 stainless steel, and I just smoothened it out. And then I put my oil on it. I put my lemon pledge staining oil over that, and it's nice and smooth now, so it doesn't bother me. And then I just did it on here, because when I'm coming down this was a bit sharp, and Gary's was a little worn in this area. So I was trying to find as many pictures as I could online to get the neck exactly like his. But not only does it look like it's a sweet player, it just feels so good. And again, I used the wood oil on here and wiped it down, let it dry for a day, and then I used the gunstock wax on here. So that's why it's got a little bit of that shine to the neck. But this neck is nice and thin. It's like a 60s neck. It's very thin, tapered, shredding kind of neck. And that's all I really had to do with that. And it was just for the looks, just for the appearance of the guitar. Not so much the playability, because it was fine playing the way it was. I just cleaned and oiled the fingerboard. It's rosewood. I didn't have to do anything with the frets at all. I didn't have to polish them. I didn't have to crown them. I didn't have to round them off. I didn't have to do anything with them. And it's funny because as soon as I brought it to my tech, you know, every guitar tech, the first thing they do is they want to measure it, because they want to say to you, even if the neck is perfect, they're going to say, you need an adjustment, because they want to, you know, they want to get another $15 out of you for adjusting the neck. I set up my own guitars. I could set it up by the truss rod. I could set it up with the bridge. I could set it up with the Floyd Rose. You know, I don't need it to be done. It's just the way I like it. I like it where when I'm going to bend the string, my finger, just like that, it's going to push up the string above it. It's not going to roll over it, and it's not going to roll under it. That's the level of the strings that I like. I like them low, but I don't like them buzzing low. And I like the neck with just a bit of a curve to it, and where I could play it everywhere, because this is the exercises that I do all the way down the neck. And I do that this way, I do it like this, and then I come back and do it in reverse, and I go down like this, and I come back, and I make sure that I have no buzzing anywhere, and this neck is just amazing. So of course I changed the strings, and I put my my DR nickel wound 9 to 46. I like the 9 to 46 because I'm more familiar with a 9 gauge, and I like the 46. I like them thicker up here. I like them a little bit more meaty, because it gives you, because I'm not a chord player, I'm more like a power chord player, it gives you that beefy sound out of the guitar, even when you're hitting out on that string. So I use Singer sewing machine oil, and my wife had bought this for me years and years and years ago, over 20 years ago, out of a sewing machine place in Patchogue off of Main Street on Long Island, New York. And I still have, it's almost like a whole bottle. And I always oil every nut that I have on a guitar that doesn't have a locking nut on it. And that's the only thing that I did with that. I left the screw out because I didn't see a screw in the one that Gary has. Plus, it's just easier if I have to adjust it. I could just swing the bell cover off, swing it out of the way, I should say, and do a little tweaking. But I set this neck when I first got it just one time because it was too straight for me. It was set up too much like a shredder, and I haven't touched it since. The other thing is, because I bought this from AliExpress, and it was listed as a 59 59 Peter Green Gary Moore tribute guitar. Everything that you see is what I saw, and then when it came to the headstock, it was just all black. So I was, much to my surprise, when I got it, it said Gibson Les Paul on it. So, as you could see, what I tried to do is I tried to remove the label off the headstock, and you could see where I tried to remove the Les Paul. I got the Les Paul off, and that's what I did to it. So I'm not too concerned about it. You can almost see the writing underneath it, because next time I restring the guitar, I'll just do that to the entire headstock, just to make the whole headstock look as old as that one spot. But from a distance, it's not that bad. and that's how Gary's was. It just said Gibson on it. Now, I did try to remove the Gibson logo, and it didn't come off. Again, I used super Goo Gone, and it could remove anything. You know, paint on something, it could one wipe and it's gone. And it took a while. I mean, it took me a while to get the Les Paul removed off of there, and like I said, you can still see it. I'll touch that up, you know, but I don't really care about that flat spot. But I couldn't remove the Gibson logo because, you know, I don't want anyone to think that, you know, I'm trying to pawn this off as a Gibson. This is a Chibson, you know, what everyone calls. This is from China. And the other thing that I did was I just put these great locking tuners on it from Amazon. So the locking tuners were $33. The strings from Amazon, I bought like a couple of pairs a while ago. They're like $6 you know, a pack. And the guitar stays in tune. Now I did have that written on the back. My wife wrote down the replica Greeny Moore, and then I put tribute on it. Because like I said, if I do go somewhere with this, if I were to go somewhere and play somewhere, if a friend invited me to jam, or you know, a friend of mine that's in a band invites me down, you know, to watch their set, and he asks me up, he says, you know, bring a guitar, I'll have you come up and do a song or two. I'm probably going to bring this guitar because it's everything that I can imagine I can get out of a guitar. I can get a Fender and a Gibson sound out of this thing, and it just looks cool and plays so well. And I'm, you know, if something happens to it, I'm not all too worried about it. I could still order another one and go through the whole thing, and I'm not out, you know, a couple of grand. So these locking tuners, like I said, they're really good. $33 from Amazon, shipped to my house, and the guitar stays in tune with a better set of strings on it. Oil, remove the decal, and I had to just remount the knobs because when I had the pots removed, I had my tech put 500K pots, and he put whatever it is, I forget what it's 22s and 21s. There's a set for the tone, and there's a set for the volume. It's off by one number, whatever it is. So he said, I said, well, if that's the standard, then go ahead and use them. He changed those. I just had to remount the washers with the pins because they didn't fit. It was painstakingly with a vice grip and a reamer, and because the vice grip kind of chewed them up, it made them look a little bit more vintage than what I got them, because they were like brand spanking new. Original. And the pickups, I had the pickups hand wound, handmade from Australia. And Fabian, he's on Reverb. It was $180, and then he charges $20 for shipping. And he hooked me up, and he had them made up. He piggybacked it on another couple of other orders because, you know, the guy makes more than just this kind of pickup. He'll make pickups for Santana guitars, and for, you know, anyone that's got a signature guitar tone, he'll make a pickup that'll almost emulate that. And he did that job with these Supernatural Greeny Moore 59 pickups, where the magnet is reversed purposely and wired just right and upside down the way it is, and that's the way I had my tech do it. And my tech also, even, you know, to his amazement, the cover, the angle, this was supposed to be over this side, it's supposed to be over there. I noticed the very first time I saw the Peter Green guitar, that's exactly how the ring around the pickup was. So that just worked out. The pickups are nice and level with the strings. There's no angles, no tilting on it, and they sound great. So that's really what I did with this guitar. So, you know, 318, 180. That's all I paid for the pickups, $33. So I'm a little over $500, and the 500K pots were $9 a piece. So $550. I still got a killer, you know, Greeny Moore 59 Les Paul Chibson guitar. And I don't know what I did with the pick. I was just going to play something so you could hear it. Find another pick. Oh, man, I lost me pick, man. But I don't have a hole drilled in this one. I use medium jazz picks with a hole drilled in because they slip out of my hand. But let's see what happens. Strat sound. Yeah, so that's it, man. AliExpress, it's a great deal, and JUGG is where I got it from. Have a good day, everyone, and better tomorrow, and thank you for watching.